Namaskar and welcome to Expertise, your source of in-depth insights from distinguished experts. And I'm Rajiv. Today my co-host Gyanish has the privilege of engaging in a discussion with a renowned expert, Mr. Suhail Inamullah, who is the State Resource Person of PMFBY and Technical Officer, Directorate of Agriculture, Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. Let's go.
Sir, can you provide an overview of the current agriculture landscape in Jammu and Kashmir?
Yeah, definitely. Before talking about agriculture, I would like to talk about the climate we have in prevalent in Kashmir, right?
Yes.
And Jammu and Kashmir is blessed with varied type of climates. We have a subtropical. The climatic zones range from subtropical to temperate, and in Jammu we have subtropical areas. Rest, the Chenab Valley, which is there in Jammu, has temperate kind of intermediate kind of a climate, and with respect to Kashmir, it's all temperate. Some areas in Kashmir they have subtropical climate. So predominantly we have temperate to subtropical intermediate type of climates. With respect to Jammu, we have definite two seasons of cropping. That would be Kharif and Rabi. And with respect to Kashmir, we have predominantly our mainstay would be Kharif crops, and in Rabi we do not have that much of agricultural activities happening around because of harsh winters. We have snow, we have temperatures which is quite on the lower side, and that drives our agriculture. In Kharif, in Kashmir division, we have two main crops. One would be paddy and another is maize. And add to it, we have crops like vegetables, all kind of vegetables. Then we have floriculture crops also. And with respect to Jammu division is like paddy and maize are the main kharif crops along with vegetables. But when all across India, when we have high temperatures and we are not able to grow vegetables in the open field conditions. So open field conditions. So there we have what we call as an off season for vegetable cultivation. So predominantly with respect to Kharif, which is our mainstay in Kashmir, and Rabi in Jammu, we have paddy, maize, and vegetables. Floriculture crops will add up, and in Rabi, Jammu division we will have wheat as our major crop, and in Kashmir we go for oilseeds, but we cannot call it as a major crop. It's a minor crop, but in Rabi season it's a major crop. This is my agricultural landscape of the UT of Jammu and Kashmir.
Okay. And what are the predominant crops and farming practices in the region?
See, as I have already told you, we have the main crops which are cultivated in the UT of Jammu and Kashmir will include paddy, maize, vegetables, and wheat and oilseed. These are the 5 major crops that are grown here with respect to agriculture. And with respect to horticulture, we have apple, walnuts, or almonds, right? Mango and lychee in some pockets of Jammu. These are the crops which are mostly grown in the UT of Jammu and Kashmir.
Yes. And how has crop insurance played a role in advancing agricultural practices in Jammu and Kashmir?
See, we have to understand that agriculture is a natural process, and it is affected by various aspects. One such aspect would be climate, and as we all know, that there has been a shift in climate change pattern. There has been a change in the climate pattern where we were sure of Jammu and Kashmir was a state where there was a buffer temperature of 30, 31, 32. The moment you would touch 32 degrees centigrade, it would start to rain. As you know, is prevalent all across hill stations where you find a certain temperature and then it would rain. It would necessarily rain or it would necessarily snow. So precipitation would be there. But under this climate change, we have seen, and it has not even sunk in for all the population to understand that it is happening, and it is affecting our climate as well as because agriculture, horticulture, and production of crops, I would take it as that. This is all dependent on the way climate is, right?
Yes.
So the point is that we have we have to align ourselves, our thought process, with the fact that the climate change is happening and it is for real that's happening. In the recent past, if I go some 20 years back, we used to have a climate where all these crops we used to have four distinct seasons. That would be spring, summer, and autumn and winter. You would see definite and distinct differentiation between all four seasons.
Okay.
But then, after this climate change effects came into being, we have seen that summer is getting prolonged. It is getting its share from the prolonged share is being taken from spring as well as winter, and then we have a long duration of winter season, which has eaten up into autumn, right? So where we had four distinct seasons, right now Jammu and Kashmir is experiencing a phenomena of two distinct seasons instead of four, right? We have prolonged summer and prolonged winters, as is prevalent all across the subtropical ranges of India, right?
Yes.
So this is one simple change that has happened to the seasons. With seasons, I want to connect it with the temperatures also. Hmm?
Yes.
I would say that my summer season is getting prolonged because it is getting its share from the autumn season, where we would see a dip in the temperature, right? And we
Yes.
will see a dip in the photo periodic time. That is being changed now. We and right now I'm talking only concentrating about the temperature, where that temperature is helpful in germination process of various crops. That
Yes.
there is a buffer, there is a point where germination would happen. And
Yes.
in our case, we had a definite temperature where rice would grow, where rice would germinate, vegetables will grow. But since since the last 20 25 odd years, we have seen a rapid change happening with respect to temperature. And with respect to rainfall, we see that the frequency and intensity has changed, right? We used to
Yes.
have quite frequent rains, and the intensity would be low. But in this pattern of climate change era, we see that the frequency has come down, but the intensity has increased, which we did not experience, but now
Yes.
we are experiencing. So all these factors are playing its part on the cropping pattern and the crops and the production and productivity, the pests and the insects which are now coming up in our agricultural ecosystem, right? So
Yes.
so climate change is definitely having an effect on the cropping ecosystem of agricultural ecosystem of Jammu and Kashmir.
Yes. What are the unique challenges that farmers face in Jammu and Kashmir, and how are they being addressed?
As I already told you that Jammu and Kashmir is a region where we have distinct cropping seasons, Kharif and
Yeah.
Rabi.
Yes.
In Jammu we have, yes, summer crops are there, short duration summer crops. But in Kashmir we have predominantly two crops. That's one Rabi and Kharif, right? So the
Yes.
most important challenge is that we have to make optimum use of Rabi Kharif season.
Yes.
Because we have this is our optimum season of growing agricultural crops or horticultural crops. Everything happens during these 6 months of
Yes.
the year.
Yes.
So what agriculture department is pursuing as a matter of policy is that our cropping intensity should increase. The challenges which are being faced is that agriculture is not a business proposition. We are farmers because they have their needs, they have their domestic needs, their family needs of storing the grains, right? For in order to
Yes.
make sure that they sustain it. It is
Yes.
not a business proportion. It is not something which we deal in, right? If we
Yes.
take examples of citrus crops, oranges and lemon from say Nagpur and or adjoining areas. If we talk
Yes.
about the mangoes from different places, so they deal in it. The farmers are not only farmers; they do not only grow crops, but they are entrepreneurs. They
Yes.
deal in it, they trade in it, they have assured income from their produce. But in
Yes.
Kashmir, as the challenge is that we do not compete in the market as traders of agricultural and horticulture. Horticulture is different because apple is there, but for
Yes.
agriculture crops, we mainly stick with respect to the requirements, because my availability and my requirement proposition is imbalanced. I do not have that much of an availability of agricultural produce with respect to the requirement I have as far as my population goes. So my basic challenge is to increase the production and productivity of crops. Number one. Number two, then if I have surplus of production, then I can value add it, right? And
Yes.
then I would market it, brand it, pack it, grade it, and then I would connect it. There would be a market linkage with the terminal markets at both at national and international level. Yes,
Yes.
definitely. I have certain crops which are niche crops to my state, my UT, Union Territory, like pica nut in Jammu, for which we are working hard for getting the geographic indication done. We have mushkubuchi aromatic rice in Kashmir. We have meetha rice, that is our common normal rice in Kashmir.
Yes.
We have saffron. We have vegetables in the off season. We have exotic vegetables. We have climatic conditions that suit growth of and the production of exotic vegetables. So all these things combined would paint a landscape of best agricultural regions of the country. But unfortunately, because of the low production and low availability of crops, because of the climatic conditions of Kashmir, geographical position of Jammu and Kashmir, this hinders my growth in agriculture and the allied sectors. But as far as what I would be saying, that diversification is the key for success of success for a farmer to be successful, right?
Yes.
Diversification is the need of the hour, but diversification means taking risks. Why would a farmer
Yes.
take a risk and change from paddy wheat or paddy oilseed rotation to something around about exotic vegetables or oilseed cultivation, or for that matter of fact, exotic it is medicinal aromatic plant cultivation? For that, crop insurance and other credit linked schemes plays an important role. So for me, if I take a giant leap in diversification of my cropping pattern, then I would require the government also to stick with me, because in the event of any loss, I should be compensated accordingly.
Yes. Considering the varied climate conditions, how important is climate resilience in Jammu and Kashmir agriculture?
We will not pinpoint it climate resilience to Jammu and Kashmir agriculture, because it is as necessary it is for the rest of agricultural landscapes across the world. Not to
Yes.
talk
Yes.
about India only. The
Yes.
same way it will have an impact on Jammu and Kashmir agriculture, right? We are a place where it is, I would be I would take pride in announcing that this is a place where we have more irrigated area than in unirrigated areas, right? And
Yes.
the best part of Jammu and Kashmir agriculture is that we have surface water irrigation system. The glaciers melt during the summers. They recharge our natural water reservoirs, right?
Yes.
So the presence of heavy metals, which is in abundant quantity available in groundwaters, right? Because of the
Yes.
pesticides and insecticides we use. But Jammu and Kashmir is blessed to have a system of irrigation which is surface water run. So we do not find heavy metals of lead and whatever is carcinogenic, right? We
Okay.
do not find
Yes.
pesticidal and insecticidal residues in our water. So, with respect to that, we are blessed enough. But
Yes.
climate resilience is something where we have to understand that if we do not get enough of snow in the hills, this surface water irrigation system would not be viable, and it would not continue to be a main important thrust area of our agriculture and horticulture, right?
Yes.
So we need to find ways and means, not only to save our specific area, our specific UT from climate change, but we have to make sure that we grow crops that are, because climate change is a reality. We have to make sure that we grow crops that are resilient to climate change. We need to focus on crops. There was, I do not know, you would have been doing all these episodes of your interviews with the rest of the places for with the rest of the people in the country. But let me tell you,
Yes.
there was in economics we used to learn barter system was prevalent in some. In the past, there was barter system where we used to exchange goods for
Yes.
goods, right? I used to grow rice. I would exchange it with, say, for example, medicines, and I would exchange it with, for example, this clothes and shoes, whatever be the case.
Yes.
The same concept is to be adopted with respect to agriculture. We have to understand area specific cropping systems. We have to understand which area suits which crop, right?
Yes. Yes.
So if I am good in cultivating saffron in an area, I would definitely promote it. I would not promote any other crop in that specific area. And the most important thing is to go organic, right?
Yes.
But for organic, you need your land races. You need your heritage crops. You need your varieties to be to adopt to your climate, and not. I would say not. It would not be hybridization of crops. I would say
Yes.
it would be going back to your original land races, heritage crops. So yes, the production and productivity would come down, but it would be in alignment to the environment you have. Talking about drought-resistant varieties, you have to go for medicinal and aromatic plants which are drought-resistant, like lavender we have here, right? And
Yes.
then where we should grow our heritage high-value crops, right?
Yes.
My area is good for growing exotic vegetables, European style broccoli, asparagus, lettuce, and all these kind of Chinese cabbage and all these kinds of crops. We have to promote it. We have to make our farmers understand the importance of growing the crops which are in alignment with the cropping pattern of our place. That would help us to make our agricultural landscape climate resilient.
Yes. And sir, how has the implementation of crop insurance, especially in the context of technological advancements, benefited farmers?
Ask any farmer pan India, right,
Yes.
and ask him about his production and productivity. He would be the first person to tell you that he did not get as good produce as he had recorded last time.
Yes.
Right? This is
Yes.
prevalent. Farmers would never be happy with their produce and production. But with respect to by getting them under the ambit of crop insurance, we have technological advancements with respect to crop cut experiments. We record it on the digital platform. We provide them a copy. They do understand how much is their yield, both at wet and dry yield. So these advancements, and then linking them with precision farming and then farm mechanization. Or see, when I am secured, when I know that my crop and my produce is secured of any losses in the event of, say, weather vagaries or pest or disease incidents, I would be in a position to take risk, right? I would the status of my farmer will change from a laggard to an innovator. I would like to try different farm equipment. I would try to check on different cropping patterns. So the risk bearing capacity of my farmer would increase. This would increase only because of the fact that he knows if my crop fails, I would be getting compensation from the government as well as the insurance company. Insurance companies also give compensation based on the premium they receive from the government and the farmers, right? So when you have assurance of against losses, you would take risks, and as they say, risk takers are life makers, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, can you please share any local initiatives or success stories related to agriculture and technology in Jammu and Kashmir?
There has been numerous success stories with
Yes.
respect to the agricultural landscape of Jammu and Kashmir. We talk about off-season vegetables, production of off-season vegetables. You talk about taking your niche crops to the other level. We have a 5,000 crore rupee project. We have around 21, 22 projects. 16 of them are associated with agriculture. We are promoting millets on a high range in the backdrop of International Year of Millets, as has been announced by the United Nations. We talk about area expansion in vegetables. Talk about area expansion in our niche crops, that's aromatic rice, mushkabudji, or our red rice, that's red in color. Talk about area expansion of saffron. Talk about area expansion with respect to pecanut. Talk about area expansion with respect to morels. Mushrooms is now we are providing. There are n number of success stories with respect to mushroom cultivation. People who do not have land, right? They are putting their resources to best use for their own economic needs, economic growth. We have apiculture, where we are in the process. We have already got geographic indication for acacia based, the soleil based, this is a common name, soleil based, honey. So there are n number of success stories where we have roped in people, we have made them entrepreneurs, we have made them to uplift there is an upliftment of their economic status. Right now, farming, we are not concentrating on farming being increasing the productivity of our major crops, but we want that, we are doing it. We are making sure that our value additions happen. Microprocessing food units are being set up. These honey processing units are being set up. You will find around, I will not exaggerate the figures, but around 5 to 7% of farmers are a success story.
Okay. Thank you. So that was all, sir, from my end.
Thank you so much, sir.
So this is the conversation with Mr. Suhail Inamullah. We will meet you with another episode of Expert Says. Till this, it's bye from Expert Says team.